Well, hello everyone. It's Richard, your friendly local vicar, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is a channel that I've set up so that I can share thoughts and reflections and prayers, things like that with you over the next few days and weeks. Hopefully not longer than weeks, but we'll see how things go. But yeah, so that's an opportunity for me to share things with you. Other things I'll be sharing on it, I'll be recording myself doing Eucharist services with the purpose that you can join in with those. I'll be taking my laptop into both St Elizabeth's and St John's, and I'll record myself presiding over the Eucharist. And during those services, I'll take the bread and the wine on behalf of both congregations. So yeah, and of course you can join in with those services as you watch them online. So as I say, thoughts and reflections as well. Also, where I can, I'll be putting things on for our younger audience, for our children's groups, young people themed videos as well. So yeah, we'll just see how it goes. As I say, it's the first time I've tried anything like this. So just with regards to YouTube, something that you can do if you set up your own YouTube channel, it doesn't mean you have to make videos, but something that you can do if you do that is you can pop comments and thoughts and attach them to the videos that I post. So that is one way that people could engage with conversations if they post their thoughts on the videos. That, if you like, can be our alternative for the conversation that we would share after our normal services. If you'd like some guidance on how to do that, how to set up a channel, it's fairly straightforward, but if you do need a bit of help with it, just drop me a line, pop me an email or give me a ring, and I'll do my best to give you the relevant instructions. Okay, so that's the idea, and yeah, hopefully I'll be getting something on each day. One other thing I'll mention just before I get into this, in that I think that for some reason the YouTube company, they're not letting users use the name of the issue that we have at the moment. If you understand what I mean, we're not allowed to call it by name. So I've heard other people on YouTube calling it the beer bug as an alternative. So that's what I'm going to refer to it as, if I need to refer to it at all. So if I say the beer bug, that's what I mean. Okay, right. So without further ado, I'll go into the first thought reflection that I'm going to share with you. It's based around the time that I spent at Stanwix. That's where I first came to faith. I did the Alpha course at St Michael's Church at Stanwix. And worshipped there for the first few years of my being a Christian. And one of the early tasks that I took on at that church was running the setup of the summer fair. We used to have an annual summer fair each year, and as I say, my job was to coordinate the setting up of that, which is always fun and challenging. One of the biggest challenges being what was the weather going to do? Were we going to be indoors or outdoors? So yeah, and there was one particular year that I gambled for us to be outside, so we started setting up, but it became more and more apparent that this gamble wasn't going to pay off as the dark clouds descended. And indeed, it started to spit with rain. So we thought, oh, goodness me, we better get ourselves inside the church. So we started moving the stalls in, and time was running short. We weren't far off the start of the fair. So we started moving things indoors as fast as we could. And it was quite stressful. And there's a way that you can tell that I'm stressed, because I flap my arms like that. So if I'm doing that, it means I'm stressed. That's a good way to tell. Anyway, I was doing this. I was flapping my arms as we were trying to set things up. I'm getting stressed, hoping we were going to get it sorted. Inside the church, there was a chap setting up a stall. He's a chap you may have come across. He's called Alan Paterson, and he makes these lovely wood carvings with verses of scripture carved into them. Anyway, he was setting up his stall with various items on it, and I was flapping and walking past his stall, and I just glanced down at it, and my eyes fell on this. Well, it is actually this particular sculpture when I read the words that were on it, and I'll just hold it up. Unfortunately, I think the writing comes up backwards on the video, so I'm not sure if you're going to be able to make it out. But it says, I am with you always. It's Matthew chapter 28, verse 20. And my eyes just fell on this verse, and all that stress and that tension and all of that just was replaced by this tremendous sense of peace and God's presence. And it was incredible. And it was just, just God coming to me and saying, look, calm down. It's going to be all right. I'm with you. It's going to be a good day. And indeed it was. We were indoors, but it was a successful event, which was lovely. And there was God at the end of the day going, see, he told you. It was fine, wasn't it? Yeah. So, but I couldn't help because of that experience that I had. Of course, I had to buy the sculpture, and here it is. And this is very precious to me. This sits on my mantelpiece, and it's a reminder. It's something for me to look at whenever things get tough. I can look at this and remember that Jesus is always with me, no matter what's going on. Of course, it reminds me of that occasion at St. Michael's, and it reminds me of God's love for me, whatever the circumstances. And I think it's something that we all need to think about at this time, don't we? It's something we all need to remember, because these are obviously strange, challenging, and quite scary times. So I think to be reminded of God's presence with us, that Jesus, by his Spirit, is with us at this time, it's incredibly important to remember that. So that's my thought for today. Just a reminder that despite what we're going through, Jesus is right with us. He's no less close to us as he would be if we were preparing for a regular Sunday morning service as we would normally do. He's right there with us as we experience these difficult times. So during the days and weeks that lie ahead, hopefully it won't be longer than weeks, it's a good thing to rest in. It's a good thing to cling to at this time, just to remember God's love for us, and that he's right there with us as we journey with him. And I hope that thought brings you some peace at this time. Okay, so that's the thought for today. I hope that's helped you out. Right, so I'll see you soon. I'll pop another video on as soon as I can. Just keep an eye on the channel. As I say, if I can't quite get something on every day, I'm sorry about that, but I'll certainly endeavour to do so. Just keep an eye on things. And I hope to see you soon, meet you as we come together to worship safely. But in the meantime, do take care, do keep yourself safe, and I'll see you soon. God bless.